It all happens here at the University of Houston, and it all happens in just a few hours. The CNN Republican presidential debate, the last Republican debate before Super Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. 5 will enter, 1 will leave. Okay, they all will leave, but someone will go with bragging rights, either laying a meaningful blow on Donald Trump, or if it is Donald Trump who's bragging, extending his already formidable lead. Here with me to discuss our CNN political commentator, Matt Lewis, a senior contributor for the Daily Caller, Ed Espinoza, former Democratic National Committee official, Bakari Sellers, a former South Carolina state representative, and Ben Ferguson, the host of the Ben Ferguson Show. Matt Lewis, you get the first question. One of the biggest questions about this campaign up until this point is, when will Marco Rubio take on Donald Trump directly? Well, now I think finally at last we have the answer, and the answer is it already happened. Listen to what Marco Rubio said last night about Israel.
The front runner in this race, Donald Trump has said he's not going to take sides on Israel versus the Palestinian because he wants to be an honest broker. Well, there is no such thing as an honest broker in that, because the Palestinian Authority, which has strong links to terror, they teach little kids, 5-year-olds, that it's a glorious thing to kill Jews.
So Marco Rubio named names. He named Donald Trump by name. It happened last night. Does this mean that this is now the first day of the rest of Marco Rubio's life?
I think it is. You and I know if you go and you follow, you on the stump and you listen to politicians, a lot of times debate prep comes out before the debate, right? And so this might be an example of Rubio sort of honing his messaging in preparation for what he's going to say tonight at the debate. It's high risk, high reward, because I don't think Rubio likes to go head-to-head, wants to go head-to-head against Donald Trump. I think he has to. If you look at the polls in Florida, it's do or die time. I think Rubio has to go after him. And again, it's not going to be an easy chore.
From the polls in Florida and Marco Rubio to the polls in Texas and Ted Cruz, Ben Ferguson, there's a new poll out of Texas from Monmouth University just released. It shows Ted Cruz with a pretty sizable lead, 38% for him, Donald Trump in second with 23%, Marco Rubio 21%. That's the good news for Ted Cruz. The bad news is this National Review story that there was this clandestine conference call among Cruz supporters saying they're going to jump ship if he doesn't do well next Tuesday, Super Tuesday. Talk to me what you think Cruz needs to do tonight.
I think he needs to stay focused on making it clear that he is a guy that can beat Donald Trump. I think you should say, I'm the only one that has beaten Donald Trump. And I also think you look at the map and you look at how well he's doing in Texas. I've said all along, and people have been saying, oh, well, Trump is surging here. I don't see it on the ground. People in Texas love Ted Cruz. He was an outsider when they elected him. He had outsiders that came to rally behind him. He basically was Donald Trump in Texas before Donald Trump was what he is nationally. And they love him here. So I think he's going to do well. I also think he needs to go after Donald Trump specifically on foreign policy and specifics of his plans. We're now in that part of the campaign where grand ideas of I'm building a wall, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to have the biggest military the world's ever seen. How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to deal with Hamas and Hezbollah? How are you saying that somehow you wouldn't pick one side over the other? Israel obviously is the side that many conservatives are going to say you should be flamboyant in favor of them.
So that's what many people,
many Americans too, but I think that's where he has a chance to have some real headway today.
Interesting. And Rubio already tipped his hand that he's going to talk about that. He said it on stage last night. Ed Espinoza, you are a Texas insider. What about this new Texas poll that shows Ted Cruz out in front? What are his strengths and potential weaknesses here? He has the endorsement of the powerful Governor Greg Abbott. He's got the former Governor Rick Perry on his side. Can he win comfortably here?
So not just as an outsider, but also as the loyal opposition. So I feel some obligation to point out that Cruz may seem like he's popular, but 38% still means that there's 62% of the Republicans who are not going for him. All the major newspapers that have endorsed in Texas have not endorsed Cruz. They've endorsed other candidates, 3 for Kasich, 1 for Rubio, a couple for Bush. We'll see where they go. But what Cruz needs to do now is demonstrate that he is the conservative in the race, which he's been trying to do. The problem is it hasn't been getting him a whole lot of mileage in this campaign. Republican voters are gravitating towards the alpha male right now, and the alpha male, the authoritarian, is Donald Trump, and he is writing his own rules. It seems like no matter what these candidates can do, whether it's Cruz or Rubio, might be too little too late for Rubio, to really derail Donald Trump. Get ready to hit by a Trump tidal wave.
Let's talk about that alpha male behind the tidal wave, Bakari Sellers. Now, you too are a Democrat. I don't think that Donald Trump will take your advice, but I'm going to ask you to give it to him. What do you think the smart move is for him? Not the move he'll make, because we never know what Donald Trump will do, But would it be smart to play it safe tonight? Would it be smart to be above the fray?
I think he just needs to show up. You know, Donald Trump doesn't have a whole lot to gain from tonight. He really doesn't have a whole lot to lose because there's no one on stage that's proven themselves worthy enough to take him on head on. The last time Marco Rubio got engaged in a head-on attack, it was with Chris Christie, and he left with a bloody nose.
Yeah.
It didn't go over well at all. Marco Rubio also has a problem that no one on this stage with us today can point to a singular state in the GOP primary that Marco Rubio can win.
That's the biggest issue.
That
agree
is-
with you.
that is
Including
not-
Florida.
Including
including his
Florida.
home state.
So I think he goes after Ted Cruz. He's branded Ted Cruz as a liar, and that has stuck. And so I think he goes and he needles Ted Cruz. He needles Ted Cruz. I think he'll lay off of the bushes a little bit because 41 is in the building tonight. So I expect a good performance.
That's a good
from him.
point.
And I think he does have some honor and some dignity. I think he'll find it.
We got about 45 seconds left. I want to get one question about Mitt Romney in the Trump taxes. Mitt Romney, on a phone call to Fox News yesterday, says he thinks there's a bombshell inside Donald Trump's taxes. Is this fertile ground for going after Donald Trump? And is Mitt Romney, Matt Lewis, the right messenger?
No and no and no. I only
asked you 2 questions. You gave me 3 no's.
That's how bad it is.
Emphasis.
That is, yeah. I don't see what could come out. I mean, so Mitt Romney sheltered income. Mitt Romney, basically was paying a lower rate, carried interest or whatever. If that comes out that Donald Trump did the same thing, he's like, yeah, man, of course I did. I'm a smart businessman. Like, I don't see how anything in the taxes could hurt Donald Trump.
See, I disagree. I think
Ferguson,
for
last
one
word.
main reason, and that is this. He says his tax returns are complex. They're already done, though. So all we care about is the bottom line. This is not complex to make a copy of your tax returns. There is obviously something in there that I think Donald Trump does not want people to see. Why would you say your taxes? But hold on, here's my thing.
If he didn't make that much money.
Right, but why? Well, he could have lied about how much money he made, and I agree there. But I also think for him to say that his tax returns are complex, they're already filed. They're already done. There is nothing complex
just go to
about making
Kinko's,
copies.
is what you're saying.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
I'm sure he has someone that can make copies.
We're going to wrap it up there. Gentlemen, this was very fun having you here. We'll all be enjoying the debate tonight. Matt Lewis, Bakari Sells, Ben Ferguson, Ed Espinoza, thank you.